who elected them.
Right.
I will not be bought.
Okay.
I will finance my own campaign in good faith to the voters of Illinois and promise to serve with integrity at all times. I'm asking for your support as I run for U.S. Senator in 2020.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
This secure moment is brought to you by Secure Home and Automation, your premier authorized Bring security dealer. Home invasions occur every 23 seconds, fire every 85 seconds, and medical emergencies occur suddenly. In times like these, get secured home and automation and an affordable wireless home alarm system with professional monitoring. This includes fast emergencies response, free security analysis, free equipment, and free installation. A limited time offer, be proactive. Call today, don't delay. 708-251-5069. That's 708-251-5069. The first 10 callers receive a free camera valued at $250. Call now, 708-251-5069, or visit our website, securehomeandautomation.com. Secure Home and Automation, where your life safety is our priority. It brings authorized dealers certain.
It's Fun Guy.
What's tomorrow?
Fun Guy, what's up, baby?
What it do, baby?
Yeah, you already know.
You know what I'm saying? So I'll be telling you.
What's going on, Chicago? What's in it for the Black People Media presents?
I want to go higher! Oh my God!
Call your sons, call your daughters, call your friends, call your neighbors.
The Bigs, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. with Eugene, McIntosh,
Did you call it?
Terrence, Tomlin. We got what you need right here on What's in it for the Black People Media.
They have Sonny on the line right now.
Okay. So, intro Sonny, we'll do this.
Hold on. Sonny? Hello? Sonny, are you there?
Headphones.
Okay, get ready. We're going to get ready to... You're going to be going live with the Bigs in a minute. Damn. Okay, so get ready. You'll hear them. They'll hear it here, but you'll hear it here. Okay. So you talking to them. This is so the audience can hear. Okay. You're a speaker. Remember, kill that next time.
This is a Traffic Jam.
We are back. You are officially rocking with the Bigs on the soil. I'm the man that needs no introduction, but for those who are, this is their first time rocking with the Bigs, I am Eugene McIntosh, rocking with my player partner on the other side.
I'm your man T-Time. What's going on, family?
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, or you can find them online at www.solobeautysupply.com.
Hey, right now we got a very special guest on the line, Gino, man. I'm sure you guys are going to love what we got in store right now. Cultural basketball legend, ties to Chicago with the one and only Big Mike. Gino, I'm sure you know who this is, man. You guys saw his documentary a couple of years ago. So, man, on the line we got the one and only Sonny Vaccarro on the soil with the Bigs. What's going on, Sonny?
Well, I am. I'm very happy and pleased to be with you guys and people in Chicago. Thank you for having me on. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonny. Thank you for coming down and kicking it with us, man. We definitely have been in tune with everything you've been doing, all the history you've made. But, man, we got some business to get down to. Eugene and I have been talking about the NBA and the boycott that they were pressing yesterday. But this morning, they woke up with a change of heart, and it looks like they're going to be getting back to playing this Friday. You know, what have been your thoughts over the last 24 hours watching the NBA players, you know, try to take a stand the way they have been?
Well, I believe they took their stand. I believe what they did was very, very important, that they all stood up and Adam Silver backed them up, and we canceled everything yesterday and maybe today. I have no idea if they're playing tonight, but they made their point, and I think it resonated. I believe with my heart and soul that what was going to be inevitable, they were not going to cancel the season. I think that, in my opinion, this morning I just thought it through. They couldn't go that far in the sense that it affected other people, other players, other situations, okay? And this one here resonated specifically in Milwaukee at the time of everything happening. But what the kids did, and then what the major players and what some of the coaches come out and said, will stand forever. Because now, not only did it happen, the threat of something happening, it did happen. I'm pleased with that. And I can do I wish? I don't have a wish, and either do you or the public here. The wish is what these players and the coaches want to do. They're professionals. It's very unlike what's happening in college. But I'm going to stand on this statement today. This opened up the biggest can of worms in all professional sports, because for the first time in the history of professional sports, and I know we had, Bill Russell started it a long time ago in his minor walkout, which everybody didn't they played in the game. Most of the white people played in the game in 61, I think, when Bill walked out. I don't believe that they'll ever forget what happened yesterday. And I'm proud of that for the players.
I have to agree with you 100%, Sonny. This is Eugene McIntosh. I think to let you know that there are no games being played tonight, but they did say that they were going to restart the playoffs. They don't have a specific date yet, but they did say that they will restart the playoffs. But the games tonight have been postponed. But I think what sticks out for me most is the fact that, this situation that's been going on for so long, now that the NBA has become international, with guys like, we'll just use Dirk Nowitzki in the past, kind of bringing, Germany and their Yao Ming and China and all of these new, international outlets. Now that we got guys like Giannis, who's the two-time MVP, looking like, two-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and a guy like Luka Doncic, who are going to be the faces of the league for the next who knows how many years. I think that with those guys taking a stand, it brings this whole situation to a much wider audience who may not have been in tune with what's actually going on, especially, like you said, with things being recorded, more now than ever, and this being on display for people in other countries to see. I think that's important as well, and I think that can help push the narrative that this stuff needs to stop immediately.
Eugene, and I'm speaking to Eugene, you're one. I think what you said is 1,000,000,000% correct. What we have now is a time of diversity, what we never had in the past, and even it caught up with LeBron for a minute or two on the famous Hong Kong and China statement when LeBron said, we have friends in China because basically all the shoes were being made there, and a lot of the major athletes had great endorsements going there. What you have here is not a singular situation. You have bona fide international stars that is making the NBA and will be made in 10 years. The premier sport in the world will be basketball. There's no question in my mind. And the reason is because of the multitude of other countries. When I first started a million years ago, gentlemen, we might have had a guy from Italy or Spain or something, because there's a league over there in, 50s and 60s and 70s. They had some basketball going. Look where we've come internationally. Yep. And that goes to what happened last night. Last night, they held their hands as not just a black and white, but an internationality, an inner influence of all people across the world said, I can play with this guy from a different country. I mean, we had the horrible war in the 90s between the countries that when they went to the Olympic Games, it was like one country, the Czechoslovakia, all that. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's why this is so important, and that's why I believe it'll be overcome. Now, the tragedy's not overcome. The tragedy, what's happening on the streets in politics, that's not overcome. And Doc Rivers said it more beautiful than any quote you can get. What he said out of his mouth was, they're afraid of us. They're afraid of us. We're getting killed. I know Doc. I don't know him as well as a lot of other people. I've been around a long time, so I know. We've been together. I thought that was the strongest statement because all the athletes, all the entertainers, all the people who know what's happened to blacks specifically in this world, in this political world that we live in. They, Black Lives Matter, this matters, Me Too, everything matters. And it got to this point. But no one said it with more purity than last night. We're the ones being killed. Why are you... No one's going in their house, and those two people... I did not watch, and I will not watch any of the Republican conventions, just so you know that right now. But I read everything. I'm at least first to talk to people like yourself and your audience. When Trump brought these people in to be considered citizens, when Trump brought the people with the guns who were shooting the people that had to be in that neighborhood, he brought in the very people that he despised. He wanted to kill the people. He wanted those guys to shoot, that husband and wife. And those immigrants, those poor immigrants, he demeaned them, but they're part of the shit countries. But he did it for political purpose. What is the problem? Let's go back to basketball.
Sonny,
the problem now has been... I'm sorry. You want me to stop?
Go ahead, Sonny. Go ahead, finish your thought.
Okay. The problem is, it's not a problem. Athletes, since the days of John Carlos and Tommy Smith and Peter Norman, the white kids from Australia, and before Muhammad Ali and all the other athletes who've taken stands, and all the entertainers that went in there early and helped Dr. King, all the other Gandhis of the world, those were movements that captured the whole of that particular community, whether it was a religious one, whether it was an identity with a country, whether Dr. King was specifically black, and oppressed. What Tommy and John did in 68 or whatever it was, they stood up for nothing other than human rights. They didn't gain anything. And it goes back, it comes to the point where the other, and Johnny and Tom never profited off of anything.
Sonny,
and it comes all the way 15 years.
Sonny, my fault, brother. Let's hold on 1 second, man. We want to make sure we get back to your comments because we got a few more things we want to throw at you. Let's get to a break real quick. We'll be right back on the other side. You're rocking with the Bigs.
This secure moment is brought to you by Secure Home and Automation, your premier authorized Bring security dealer. Home invasions occur every 23 seconds, fire every 85 seconds, and medical emergencies occur suddenly. In times like these, get secured home and automation and an affordable wireless home alarm system with professional monitoring. This includes fast emergencies response, free security analysis, free equipment, and free installation. A limited time offer, be proactive. Call today, don't delay. 708-251-5069. That's 708-251-5069. The first 10 callers receive a free camera valued at $250. Call now, 708-251-5069, or visit our website, securehomeandautomation.com. Secure Home and Automation, where your life safety is our priority. It brings authorized dealers certain
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. So many politicians are bought by special interests and major corporations instead of the citizens who elected them. I will not be bought. I will finance my own campaign in good faith to the voters of Illinois and promise to serve with integrity at all times. I'm asking for your support as I run for U.S. Senator in 2020.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
This is a terrific
You are back on the soil, rocking with the Bigs, home of Chicago famous. The West Center for Black People Media is going to change the way you see radio forever. That's because on Tuesday, September 8th, Chicago famous with Mike Love and Diz is joining the West Center for Black People Media family. Tune in every day from 3 to 6 for Chicago famous with Chicago radio legends Mike Love and Diz. They'll talk everything from music, entertainment, sports, politics, race, culture, and everything happening today. Plus, they'll take you back for an old school rap, some of the features and interviews that you love. That's right, it's Chicago famous with Mike Love and the Diz every day, 3 to 6 on What's In It for the Black People Media.
With that being said, we'd like to get back to our conversation with the one and only, the legendary man himself, Sonny Vaccarro. Sonny, you still there?
Yes, I am. Can I just finish my thing and then leave me another question, gentlemen?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
I want to get the analogy between Tommy and John and to Kaepernick. Okay, Colin.
Uh-oh.
What we had was that interlude of like 40 years, a long time, 50 years, whatever heck it was, 68 to when Colin did his thing. But my point there is, Kaepernick suffered. We all understand this. Nike supports him now and all that BS is happening, and that's good for him, and I'm glad. But no one was with the kid. No one was with the kid, and there was nothing. He lost everything. You and I both know that. That's so. I mean, the world knows that. They have to be prejudiced to understand that he gave it up, and that's what John and Tommy did. So I'm saying to you, then we go into last night, because Kaepernick is going to be someone like Tommy Smith and John Carlos, God willing, he will be recognized for his suffering. That's a sad thing. We should be recognized for the glory of our life, right? But the people we're talking about suffered. This is where we are today here, okay, in basketball. Now I'm back in, talking why the NBA and what these young people did yesterday, and why I think LeBron will stand out, because LeBron took his mantle, where there's been other great athletes, and no one can do better than Bill Russell, because Bill started at the beginning. So we should never ever forget that. But we have forgotten it, and he reminded us a little bit last night when they sort of talked about what happened in the 60s. And I've witnessed that in my life. I'm going to be 81 years old. The pleasure and honor of my life is I've been able to watch a lot of things and know what's happening. And hopefully when I speak for myself, obviously. I've seen stuff happen. But what I watched last night, even though they're going to finish the season, and like I said, that's fine. They said to the world, pay attention to us. We are important. And you want to give up your cookies and your donuts and all that stuff, America? Well, what would they do? Who's they? The rest of America. The greatest minds in the world. I'm not talking about athletes. Some of the great minds that got chances were black people before they had chances. History shows that. But what we did with entertainment, they couldn't deny what minorities did in entertainment, whether it was entertainment, singing or movies or whatever it was. I mean, look where Spike Lee has come from. There's been other great black, producers and directors and whatever, but Spike evolved, and I watched him grow up. I mean, and you watch what he's accomplished in our world, the sport entertainment world that we're living in, that I've lived in my life. They couldn't stop people of all colors, of all people, all the immigrants. If you could do something individually that makes the masses appreciate what the hell you're doing, they accept you, if only for the day of the game or the day of the concert. But what happened now is the athletes and the entertainers, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this, in my opinion, they understand who the minorities are now. The minorities are the majorities with brains, because their brains are allowed to be showed. So last night, in Sonny Vaccaro's mind, was one of the nicest nights I spent without being involved or just knowing it was happening. The spontaneity of it happening and the universal togetherness. But what did they do? Adam Silver, the commissioner, walked lockstep with the kids. The owners walked. Have you ever seen that again? Did you ever think you'd live to see that? Not tomorrow, not next week, not let's kneel half or not kneel half or some do this. No, we're canceling the game tonight.
Sonny,
That
what
to me-
I kind of want to butt in because
Go ahead, please, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you good. Go ahead.
some of the things that are going through my mind is the fact that we're here talking about generations of athletes over time that have had to stand up. You know what I mean? We're talking about Juan Carlos, Muhammad Ali. I mean, we're going back generations, you know, and then correlating it to today. And I'm wondering, what you say that the owners were walking hand in hand. What was something tangible that we got from yesterday? You feel me? I'm wondering, you know what I mean, if we're ignoring the idea that sports is a distraction, which is the reason why we saw the Lakers and the Clippers vote to boycott the rest of their seasons. It's like, okay, we thought that we had you guys' attention by playing. We see that that's not the case. So now what else can we do? How can we properly leverage what we can? And the only thing I feel like they have to go for them is the fact, that they can say that we're not going to play. And I'm worried that they didn't give themselves enough time to see something tangible happen. Because if they say just less than 24 hours after saying they're not playing that we're going to be going back to playing, I would really like to know what was the convincing factor from the owners, from Adam Silver, that convinced the guys, okay, we're not going to boycott the season, when you had two of the biggest teams in the league, two of the teams with the best chances of winning it all, saying we don't want to play anymore. And then less than 24 hours, we're back to, okay, there is going to be basketball. It just makes me feel like it's just a rinse and repeat situation. You know what I mean? What's the definition of insanity? Is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So I'm wondering what is different about this situation that's going to get different results.
Thank you for saying that, and I'm going to give you Sonny's opinion. A long time ago, gambling was what I really enjoyed, other than being an athlete. 60, 70 years ago, poker was I loved that. So I'm going to give you an analogy I would have said without it, but you gave me an opportunity. And I think your question, and I think you and millions of other people may be thinking what you're thinking today. It's the logical. Here's how I play that hand out. Here's what my answer to that statement is from you, young fellow. No, and no. They didn't give in. They said, we're going to continue. But if God forbid, something tragic happens again, there's another episode of something, I honestly believe that they'll end it. And I honestly believe not only will they end it, they will put pressure on the other athletes, especially the black athletes. Now, some of the sports we can't account for because there's sort of a mix-up of what baseball is or isn't, okay? But I'm saying to you, they played a good poker hand. 5-card stud would have been the game that I would love to play. I have one whole card that I don't know, and they have one. Right now, for the first time in the history, the athletes have the whole card. Don't screw this up. So I'm saying to you, go ahead. You were right in your analysis. They gave in. But I don't think they gave in. I think they're going to play the handout. I think they're going to play that. That's my point. I think it can't happen again. The next time, it's over.
And see, now, Sonny, that's why I feel like it's a little problematic, because what we're saying is, all right, we'll wait for the next black person to get killed, and then we'll do something. I mean, because I feel like what we're saying is there's going to be there's for sure going to be another instance, and when that happens, we'll shut it down again.
Well, you know what? That's good. I'm playing tennis with a good player. That was a good hit the ball back to my side. And here's what I'm saying: I'm not waiting, God forbid, for someone to be murdered. I'm waiting, God forbid. The next negotiation I have is the prayer that we're not going to talk about what happened when someone, God forbid, is murdered. We're talking about why in the hell aren't there more coaches? Why in the hell aren't there more this? Why don't we now negotiate for everything that's all the bullshit that's been happening over the years on a number of coaches and carry this on all the way back to the most hypocritical organization in the world is the NCAA's Athletic Association to amateurs. That's more pathetic, the way they control the athletes in the NCAA. But these guys are getting paid. So I'm saying to you, no. I think I would now, if this was 1,000 years ago, my suggestion is some of the kids I probably would have known 1,000 years ago to answer a question for. Now is when we negotiate that there is no more Rooney rules or all this bullshit about we're going to make somebody, we're going to give you a chance, 1 of 10 or something like that. Those things are bullshit. Just like they railed on Donald Sterling, he was a racist his whole life. And I like David Stern. They never did shit to him. You know why it got him fired? Was LeBron and those guys saying, it ain't happening. Yeah. And the reason it was because he was on the West Coast. That made it easier, too. And he was a horrible hypocrite. He was a racist. We got it done, though. Those kids got it done. I'm saying to you, I'm not talking about I'm talking about now we go there. If Chris Paul and the kids are all got their own little union down there and their spokespeople, I get professional spokespeople. Now I start the negotiation over. Not about the wage, not about that. I'm talking about the jobs and the positions and the education. That's what I'm talking about. This is where I think the whole card, and you asked a good question, I wouldn't have said this, because I wouldn't have gone down that without giving me an open. It isn't about waiting for God forbid someone's killed. I don't wait. Tomorrow we go to the negotiating table. And I'm not talking about the money that the players are being paid. I'm talking about the jobs and the positions. Go get them. If you're qualified, hire me. Don't hire me because there's a quota. Hire me because I'm good. Right. And I believe there are people who are brilliant that never got a chance in their life.
Well said, man, Sonny. And that's a great segue into my next question, because we basically going to switch the conversation. As you mentioned, those NCAA scumbags. Actually, we'll resume the conversation. Let's take a quick break. We got to pay some bills here. Let's take a quick break.
Sit tight for a second.
And we'll come right back on the other side, because we got a couple more things we want to throw at you. But what's in it for the Black People Media? You're officially rocking with the bigs on the soil. We shall return.
This secure moment is brought to you by Secure Home and Automation, your premier authorized Bring security dealer. Home invasions occur every 23 seconds, fire every 85 seconds, and medical emergencies occur suddenly. In times like these, get secured home and automation and an affordable wireless home alarm system with professional monitoring. This includes fast emergencies response, free security analysis, free equipment, and free installation. A limited time offer, be proactive. Call today, don't delay. 708-251-5069. That's 708-251-5069. The first 10 callers receive a free camera valued at $250. Call now, 708-251-5069, or visit our website, securehomeandautomation.com. Secure Home and Automation, where your life safety is our priority.
The way the NBA structures salaries.
What's up, good people? You're listening to I Said What I Said with Tucson Warner and Herb Howard.
Coming together because
you never breed a warrior.
Division. We got top heavy and the bottom heavy. So then, if y'all want to come together, y'all got to deal with y'all.
And that's what's happening at every angle. They're creating paradigms where we can only raise feminine men. Whether they homosexual or not, they feminine as shit. Because all masculinity is toxic. All masculinity is toxic in a war-torn society where the dominant society is saying to your ass, we don't never want no warriors.
Right. You bastards.
Any book you've ever read, you can read the Bible, goddammit. When they go and they destroy some shit, they kill all the boy babies.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't even want you growing up to think you're gonna do some shit to me.
Animals do the same thing. If I come over here and I take over this village now or whatever, like this gonna be my pride. First thing I'm doing, killing the male boys, like killing the male babies.
Don't you even grow up with that?
Don't you even think about it. Okay? Right. You ain't my daddy, you damn right I ain't your daddy. Fuck your fort, little nigga.
Fuck your fort. Oh man, I laugh at this shit in public.
That's real.
I laugh at this stuff in public.
That's real though, right?
Tucson Warner and Herb Howard live on What's in It for the Black People Media, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Mike Love and the Dig.
Go, Mike Love, I got a question. Hey, are you ready to go down? Here we go again.
It's all about the bad boys, baby.
Hey, what's up? This is Mike Love.
Hey, what's up? It's Diz.
Of Bad Boy Ray. Wait a minute.
This ain't 1999, man.
Yeah, man, it's Chicago famous.
Say what? Old guys now.
Oh, I'm hurt. My back. We are back starting September 8th.
Get ready, Chicago. That's right. We are coming back on the air.
3 to 6 p.m. on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Chicago famous.
And we are back on the soil, rocking with the bigs. I'm Eugene McIntosh here with my player partner, my co-founder, the other half of the bigs, my boy T-Tom.
What's good, family?
And we are back with the legend Sonny Vaccarro. Sonny, are you still with us?
Yes, I am. Not leaving. You kick me out.
No, we're not kicking you out.
You can go ahead and sit on that couch, kick up your feet. You're welcome here, bro.
We're not kicking you out at all because I wanted to let you know that you're actually an extended family of mine, man. I actually played high school basketball with Antoine Walker at Mount Carmel. And
oh my God.
Yes. So I've known you for almost over 25 years. I was there with Twan all the way. So I remember all the ABCD camps. I remember all the Adidas. I remember everything you did for him. I remember the recruiting, everything, him going to Kentucky. I remember everything that you did, to help Twan get to where he is today.
Real quick on Antoine, I think the last person he talked to was me when he was leaving Kentucky, and he had told who was his coach in Calipari, or I don't even know who the coach was, Bettino.
Yeah.
At that time, and he called me, and I said, well, make sure you call your mom. I said, just do it. He was like a little nervous, and he obviously made the right move. But he used to come with Mac Irvin. Mac was my first major contact when I first started ABCD and Roundball. Mac Irvin and his crew and all the Irvin brothers. But Antoine slept on our couch when he came to the Roundball before he played. I mean, so yes, I probably had. I was interesting. You brought that up. We'll go on to your next questions. I probably had, in all the projects I did, more kids from the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago than any other state or city in America for the Roundball Classic, the big time tournament, and obviously the ABCD camp, because it was because of the people, Forrest Harris and Mac and all Steve Hudson and all those guys.
Yeah.
They allowed me to become Sonny Vaccarro. I will say that to my grave. I am the reason you guys have me on and allowed me to do this and become this person is because of the parents who I never met prior to them trusting their kids with me, and it was always a surrogate, and it always started. That's why it aggravates the hell out of me what the NCAA has done to that group of people, demeaned them, called them names, horrible. So that was a pleasant name to me today. That was one for Twan, and I know he hit some ups and downs, but I'll tell you one thing: he was a brilliant player, and he is a wonderful person. I mean, there's no question that we all screw up along the way somehow, but he's fine and he's good and he's Antoine Walker, and don't ever forget that. Go ahead, now it's your shot again.
No, 100%. I appreciate you for acknowledging Twan. He did so much for the city, when he got his money, and he provided a lot for a lot of kids who looked up to him. He footed the Pro-Am bill every year here that became a staple in the Chicago summers, and just Sonny Vaccarro, your name rang bells back then because of, like you said, the things that the parents that were able to trust you with their kids and know that you had their best interest at hand, and like you said, if they needed a place to stay, that they knew that you would take care of them. So I just wanted to give you a shout out with that and thank you for everything that you provided. Like you said, anybody that knows anything about Chicago basketball knows what Mac Irvin means to this basketball community. So big shout out to you.
Thank you, young fella. God bless you.
So what I wanted to get into, I had two things, but I want to get into one. You talked about those scumbags at the NCAA and how they've basically played these kids for so long. But for those that don't know, because Ed O'Bannon was definitely one of my favorite players in the 90s. I know how much of how much you meant to that whole Ed O'Bannon versus the NCAA court case. So can you kind of let the people that don't really know what's going on with that, can you kind of explain what that was about?
Basically, that was about the combination of all my years and things in basketball and youth, and saying at that time that those kids did a lot for Sonny and Pam Vaccarro, and those parents did, and there was something missing. And it took me a long time into the 90s when I felt that there's something missing out of that scholarship crap. I mean, and I could start watching games on television. There were replays. It was called Classic Sports on ESPN at that time, where they have the highlights of all the past NCAA championships and the ACC tournaments. And they sold them. And my wife, for a period of time, was a commercial actress, and we used to get residuals because every time they showed a commercial, Pam would get her $50, whatever the hell it was. And I just said in the 90s that these kids don't get anything, and they keep selling them, and they're no longer in college. And then what happened then, what started me on the O'Bannon thing is in the 90s when I first got talked about it, I was still employed by the shoe companies, and so I'd make my gripes and moans, and I couldn't do anything other than complain and have fights. But then Brandon Jennings came along, and Brandon Jennings didn't want to put up with the bullshit, and then he said, I'm not going to go through an interrogation whether I passed the test or not. It's stupid, whatever, or whatever it was. It happened to other people, and they even accused the great Derrick Rose, a legend and another of the greatest players in the history of the state of Illinois. These demeaning things were happening, and 94% of the people they were doing were the minority athletes, assuming that they had no brains of their own, so they just put those burdens on them, right? Okay, so I helped Brandon go to Europe, and then Eddie O'Bannon come along, and what I did was ask the question: how in the hell can the NCAA own my name, image, and likeness into perpetuity? It was simple as that, because it was ridiculous. Because by then they were selling EA Sports, they were selling all these games and all this bull crap, and it was the kids, it was the games, but they said it wasn't them. So they didn't put their name on it. That's hypocrisy. That's the way this world, that's what this country is. I mean, that's the whole point. These son of a buggers, they just stole money. It wasn't a pretend. That was Eddie O'Bannon. That was whoever it was. That was the Fab Five. That was the Running Rebels. That's who that was. These are real kids. They just didn't tell you their names. But you spent $50 buying it because you knew who their names were. Yeah. Because it was the same jersey, it was the same left-hand shot, it was the same dunk, it was whatever.
It was very.
So go ahead. That's
was,
the reason I did it.
It was.
Go ahead.
It was very overt.
Yeah, it was with the Mr. Potato Head disguise, like this ain't joke. You know what I mean? Yeah. But Sonny, I want to ask you something because you touched on. I feel like something that's very important. You know, when we look at the state of NCAA basketball and recruiting, we're seeing a lot of young players take some unconventional routes. Like you just look at somebody like LaMelo Ball, who went college, played overseas at a few places, and now he's talked about as a top player in the draft. We've been seeing players decide to go to the G League, formerly known as the D League, instead of going that NCAA route to the NBA. And I want to know, what is the future for that? Can we count on seeing more players say, "Hey, I can get the same or even more exposure outside of the NCAA and play in take an alternative route to the NBA"? Should we expect to see more players do that?
Young fella, I'm going back to my, this time instead of playing a poker game with you, I'm going to play a spot sheet or a baseball game or a football game in Las Vegas. And tell you the odds on that are an out bet. I don't think you'll ever see a great high school player go to college again. I don't. And I think the NCAA is going to wrap up the horrible thing they did in 2005, because from Kevin Garnett to, I think, Dwight Howard's 2005 year, I think Dwight was number 1 or 2 pick in that draft there. That last year, all the age limit thing, some of the greatest players in the world never had a college coach. Yeah. I mean, they're all going to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, Tracy was the first one because he got hurt, so his thing up, and then Kobe and Kevin are going in, and obviously you want me to go on, add in them, but the greatest players, why don't we just stop with that question? They never had to go to college, and nobody missed not going to the college games. People rooted for their home teams and all that stuff, but what they did then, and what they do everywhere, at least the world I've lived in basketball, they refuse to acknowledge the great athletes. And the NCAA is worse than the NBA because the NBA does pay, and you work out an agreement that you're going to do whatever that salary is, they're getting paid. The NCAA are the biggest hypocrites in the world. And when they say they're getting an education and all that BS, just so your audience knows, I was also involved while I was on with Eddie with the lawsuit against the University of North Carolina when those kids never had to go to class. Never went to class. Never went to class. They got their degrees. I mean, that's the biggest BS. Now, I'm not saying that don't go to college and you don't get a good degree. But usually, and then the kids go back and graduate after they've been out for 25 years. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ones that when they go there, they get a degree, but they don't get an education. And I can give you, but I won't. But you can just go through your mind. And football's worse than basketball. The only reason we don't pay attention in football is because they force them to go 3 years. Yeah. Now, football's much tougher to play. You and I both know that. But the idea that they force you to go 3 years, why not 2 years? When do they come up with a 3? I mean, they're almost there for the whole thing. My idea is, if the individual's willing to do whatever he thinks he can do to earn a living, he should be able to apply for the job.
100%. Yeah.
That means that's all he's doing is applying for a job in the NFL or in hockey or in tennis or in hockey and tennis. They can do that.
You're listening to Sonny Vaccarro.
They can do that. How come they pick baseball or basketball and football? Because it makes billions of dollars.
You're listening to Sonny Vaccarro on the soil. You're rocking with the bigs. Sonny, I wish we had more time, man, because I feel like you're making some great points. Man, I feel like you're going to have to be our first regular, if that's okay with you. We're going to have to get you, a weekly spot so we can come and have some real talk with you, Sonny. Thank you so much for joining us on the soil.
You just said the nicest words to me. I will do it anytime you guys. All you have to do is give me a day's notice so I can get ready for you, and I promise you I'll do it.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Sonny Vaccarro. It's always good to touch down with legends, Gino.
I swear, I appreciate it a whole lot, Sonny. Like Terrence said, we definitely had a few more things to throw at you, but time flies when you're having fun. So we'll definitely give you some time in advance because we definitely need you back on the show. Like he said, we could talk for hours about basketball and just about the life stories and the life jewels and gems that you could give us forever. So again, we appreciate you and we look forward to talking to you soon.
And I'd love to do it. Guys, did you tape the show today? Can I get a
absolutely.
copy?
We're getting a thumbs up from our producers. We definitely can run this back on demand. So we're going to find a way to send it directly to you, Sonny.
Okay, thank you, and take your time on that. It'd be nice. I like to say a lot of things, and I please. I mean, you would honor me by asking me back, and I would love to talk. And okay.
Absolutely, Sonny. It's no problem at all. Thank you for rocking with us.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and jump into a break on the other side of it. We want to hear from y'all. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. The lines is open. You're rocking with the bigs on the soil.
This secure moment is brought to you by Secure Home and Automation, your premier authorized Bring security dealer. Home invasions occur every 23 seconds, fire every 85 seconds, and medical emergencies occur suddenly. In times like these, get secured home and automation and an affordable wireless home alarm system with professional monitoring. This includes fast emergencies response, free security analysis, free equipment, and free installation. A limited time offer, be proactive. Call today, don't delay. 708-251-5069. That's 708-251-5069. The first 10 callers receive a free camera valued at $250. Call now, 708-251-5069, or visit our website, securehomeandautomation.com. Secure Home and Automation, where your life safety is our priority. It brings authorized dealers, certain restrictions apply.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Mike Love and the Dig! Yeah, Mike Love and the Dig. Go! Mike Love, I got a question. Hey, are you ready to go down? Here we go again.
It's all about the bad boys, baby.
Hey, what's up? This is Mike Love.
Hey, what's up? It's Fizz.
Of Bad Boy Wait a minute.
This ain't 1999, man.
Yeah, man, it's Chicago famous.
Say what? Old guys now.
Oh, I'm hurt. My back. We are back starting September 8th.
Get ready, Chicago. That's right. We are coming back on the air.
3 to 6 p.m. on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Chicago famous.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and I'm running for U.S. Senate for the state of Illinois. I will never give up on inclusion and equality, prison reform, reduced property taxes, and economic opportunity for all. I want to get to know your neighborhood and the problem that you face every day. And I want to serve every man, woman, and child in the state of Illinois. A vote for me is a vote for you.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
What's up, good people? You're listening to I Said What I Said with Tucson Warner and Herb Howard.
You'll never breed a warrior.
Warriors, come out to play.
You hear that? And that's what's happening at every angle. They're creating paradigms where we can only raise feminine men.
Yes.
Whether they're homosexual or not, they feminine as shit.
Sure, because all masculinity is toxic.
All masculinity is toxic in a war-torn society where the dominant society is saying to your ass, we don't never want no warriors.
Right.
You bastards.
Any book you've ever read, you can read the Bible, goddammit. When they go and they destroy some shit, they kill all the boy babies.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't even want you growing up to think you're going to do some shit to me.
Animals do the same thing. If I come over here and I take over this village now or whatever, like this gonna be my pride. First thing I'm doing, killing the male boys, like killing the male babies.
Don't you even grow up with that.
Don't you even think about it.
Yeah,
okay?
bitch.
Right. You ain't my daddy, you damn right I ain't your daddy. Fuck your fort, little nigga.
Fuck your fort.
You're not my dad.
Like,
oh man, I laugh at this shit in public.
That's real.
I laugh at this stuff in public.
That's real though, right? Tucson Warner and Herb Howard live on What's in It for the Black People Media, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
You are rocking with the bigs, live on What's in It for the Black People Media Radio. We on the soil, man. We just got done chopping it up with the one and only Sonny Vaccarro. He was dropping some gems, man.
Sonny was definitely dropping some jewels, man. I'm pretty sure he could have talked for another hour. We could have talked for another hour with him. So it's great to hear them say that he would love to come back on with us anytime. So yeah, appreciate Sonny. Like he didn't. I know it was a shock when I told him I played with Twan in high school. He just don't know.
He's having all the flashbacks.
Man, he just don't know I was on a couple of them other side of them phone calls that he used to have with the guys, man. It was cool to know that Sonny was the man behind a lot of these guys' success in the way they catapulted from high school to the pros. So big shout out to Sonny, man.
It's always cool, you know, like you said, to talk to the people behind the scenes that make it happen. And Sonny Vaccarro is totally one of those instrumental people in the culture.
Yeah.
But with that said, man, we've been having a good conversation about everything that, you know, that's been going on in the NBA. Are they going to boycott? Are they going to play? You know, we've been discussing that, and it's only right that we go ahead and talk about what LeBron had to say about it, because I feel like nothing happens in the NBA without LeBron. So let's go ahead and hear what he had to say.
In America, black men, black women, black kids, we are terrified because you don't know. You have no idea. You have no idea how that cop that day left the house. You don't know if he woke up on the good side of the bed. You don't know if he woke up on the wrong side of the bed. You don't know if he had an argument at home with a significant other. You know if one of his kids said something crazy to him and he left the house steaming. Or maybe he just left the house saying that today is going to be the end for one of these black people. That's what it feels like.
And so, what do you think about that, man? He said that, you know, we're the ones scared and all of that. What's crossing your mind when you hear LeBron say those things?
Man, it's I don't know, man, because, and I'm just speaking for myself, but I'm not scared. Like, I don't leave out the house scared that the police are gonna pull me. You know, I don't. It's just it's a slippery slope there to me, because I don't leave out the house scared. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm necessarily saying, you know.
Yeah, because
I understand.
I agree.
I understand what he's saying, but I don't leave. Like, if I was one of those guys, I don't know, man. If I was an NBA player making 30, but like it was interesting what Jimmy Butler said, and the reason why he decided to come out with nothing on the back of his jersey, because he said, if you didn't know that I was Jimmy Butler, then I would just be another, you know, an NBA player doesn't mean that I'm not a regular black guy at the end of the day.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, I agree with that. But again, I just feel like I don't leave out of the house scared that the police are going to shoot me if I'm pulled over.
I feel like black people are more tired than anything.
Exactly.
I think it was a point where black people were scared, and I think that it's something to say for the situation. Say you're driving, minding your business, and a cop pulls behind you. We can't ignore that cop behind us.
No, because when you, I mean, I do feel that.
Is that fear? You know what I mean?
I wouldn't necessarily call it fear, because like you said, you can be driving with nothing on you. It's like, you remember back in the day, you'd be driving and somebody might have weed in the car, somebody might be some open liquor or something. Put that out real quick. Dump that. And it's like, we were so young, we didn't know, like, man, you dumped the blunt out the car, it still smells like weed in the car.
Smell lit up.
You got open liquor in the car. Well, if you close it and try to stash it, it's still gonna smell like Heno in there.
At least you get to tell the boys, hey, we smoked that.
Man, we smoked that and tossed that
it's
already.
Gone.
It's been gone. But at the same token, you could be driving now clean as day, and when the police get behind you, first thought is, oh, here they go again. And it's like, man, you got the feeling like, man, this guy's about to pull me over for nothing.
That's what I feel like LeBron was talking about.
I agree.
LeBron doesn't always choose the best words.
Yeah, LeBron, we saw him. How far has LeBron gotten in the autobiography of Malcolm X?
I think he got past chapter 3. That's why he was so pissed last night.
Well, he had it. So the game Portland and LA was last night. It was supposed to be last night, right?
Yeah.
So I think he might have read a couple chapters last night, since he ain't have to hoop.
he read a couple chapters of the book and was like, I ain't playing no more, Joe. You see what they did to Malcolm?
Man, the autobiography of Malcolm X got LeBron fed up, and that's what led to his "fuck this" tweet. We fed up and we ain't having it no more.
Wait till he gets to the second half when it just abruptly ends because Malcolm's gone.
I think that might bust the bubble. I think if it's round 2, and one up, Clippers and Lakers 1 up, LeBron get to chapter 7.
Because that book goes, it's like, hold on, Alex Haley is talking to us now because Malcolm is gone. And, I mean, it kind of comes out of nowhere in that book, but LeBron's voice is, without going without saying, probably the most instrumental voice in the league. And I feel like he feels like he has to be the one to lead the charge. And we saw a lot of reports about people being mad at the Milwaukee Bucks for not telling them that they were going to protest. And I wanted to get your thoughts about that real quick because I feel like, did they have to let the guys in the bubble know?
Man, fall in line.
And when LeBron put out that tweet, he put out a tweet right after the Bucks had decided to go ahead and boycott. He said, hey, fuck this shit.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't put it out before.
I thought that was LeBron falling in line.
That's classic LeBron. But again, I want to go back to that because, I'm glad that, we always have these talks, me and you and other people, we have these talks about leaders, right? Cuz Tucson, shout out to Tu and Herb. I said what I said Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 1 to 3 on What's in It for the Black People Media. But Tu always says that why do we look up to these type of people to be our leaders? And I just feel like the days of Malcolm, Martin, Medgar Evers, back to Marcus Garvey, Haile Selassie, Elijah Muhammad. The only leader we got in that type of capacity right now is the minister. And I feel like the minister is the only person in the world that could gather 1 million people and say, let's march on Washington, and it really happens. But we also know a bunch of people that don't really honor what the minister is saying. So I think there's something going on there about these leaders. And the days of guys being on the front lines like Malcolm and like Martin, and again, I don't think a peaceful protest I don't even think that exists. I hate that term.
That's one of those 2020 made up terms.
Man, please.
Did you see the newest one yet? Long gun? And they were calling an assault rifle yesterday from my homie in Kenosha that killed the 2 people. They're like, oh, that's him with a long gun. And I had to sit back like, what the hell is a long gun, fam? That's an assault rifle.
AR-15?
Yes, a rifle. But go ahead.
Anyway,
I didn't mean.
Man. These, symbolism, man, is taking over. But if LeBron is a guy that people rely on, look up to be one of our leaders, then I appreciate him taking the brunt of himself to be the spokesman. But I also would love for him to, be able to do more of the knowledge. And that's easy for me to say. I don't look up to LeBron as to lead my charge and to lead us our social justice charge. But the people that do, take whatever you can from it and keep it moving. But I don't think that the Milwaukee Bucks had to let them know that they were calling their game off. Just fall in line so we can all be looking like we're all in one, in unison.
Exactly. I think that's the most important thing. I definitely think that when you look at LeBron's history of giving back to the community, he's definitely always put himself in position to let it be known it's bigger than basketball. He's not just going to shut up and dribble.
Right.
So I feel like it's below him at this point to look at the Milwaukee Bucks and say, well, y'all should have hollered at me first. When you look at this situation, it happened. It was on Milwaukee stumping grounds. It happened right in their backyard. Milwaukee is one of the teams in the league that has dealt with players dealing with police brutality directly. Sterling Shepard got his ass beat for Sterling Brown, excuse me. I'm talking about the This Is Us actor, excuse me. But Sterling Brown got his ass beat for parking in a handicap spot at a Walgreens. John Henson got the boys called on him because he was shopping for a jewelry piece.
Right.
You feel me? These are NBA basketball players. That supposedly let them tell it, have crossed over to the other side, and of course, shout out to Hov, they still a nigga. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering, what LeBron can do You know what I mean? That can really hold an impact, hold a stance. You know what I mean? We got one more break right here. You're on the soil with the bigs on West End for the Black People Media.
Kind of lost it. Me too. There's so much to talk about. Come back and read that shit again.
Tell somebody to tell somebody it's going down. Not only will you hear us on air, but you'll be able to see us as well. And that's all going down September 8th from 3 to 6.
What's in it for the Black People Media? Make sure you check us out.
Chicago famous.
Today's world requires first-hand knowledge of real international working. As a successful international businessman, I have achieved many goals and made many business friends abroad. International business can rebuild the middle class by creating the infrastructure to support small businesses through economic development funds and international expansion. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me. Send me to Washington. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
This secure moment is brought to you by Secure Home and Automation, your premier authorized Bring security dealer. Home invasions occur every 23 seconds, fire every 85 seconds, and medical emergencies occur suddenly. In times like these, get secured home and automation and an affordable wireless home alarm system with professional monitoring. This includes fast emergencies response, free security analysis, free equipment, and free installation. A limited time offer, be proactive. Call today, don't delay. 708-251-5069. That's 708-251-5069. The first 10 callers receive a free camera valued at $250. Call now, 708-251-5069, or visit our website, securehomeandautomation.com. Secure Home and Automation, where your life safety is our priority. It brings authorized dealers, certain restrictions apply.
And now, back to the big.
That ball hit deep.
Eugene, McIntosh, and Terrence Tomlin.
You're on the soil rocking with the bigs. I'm your man T-Time, coming to you live from the West End for Black People Media Studios, the home of Chicago famous. What's in it for the Black People Media is going to change the way you see radio forever. That's because on Tuesday, September 8th, Chicago famous with Mike Love and the Diz is joining the What's in it for Black People Media family. Tune in every day from 3 to 6 for Chicago famous with Chicago radio legends Mike Love and Diz. They'll talk about everything from music, entertainment, sports, politics, race and culture, and everything happening today. Plus, they'll take it back to the old school for some of the features and interviews that we loved. That's right. It's Chicago famous with Mike Love and the Diz every weekday, 3 to 6 p.m. on What's in it for Black People Media, Chicago famous.
Also, shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, or you can find them online at www.solobeautysupply.com. Hey man, rock with the bigs, man. The phone lines are open. 872-259-7474. We got about 10 minutes left.
Don't get shy on us. Come on, y'all.
Man, hit the brothers up, man. We see the comments. We see everybody out there on the comments. Shout out to everybody that's leaving these comments. Don't forget that, man, when you're rocking with the bigs on the Bigs TV, we got rules and regulations, man. You got to hit that share button. You got to smash that like button. You got to leave a comment, but also hit that star button, man. We appreciate the support. Everybody who sent some stars. I can't really see the stars. I've been trying to keep up with the comment. But if you sent some stars and we did not shout you out, don't trip, because we got much love for you. But we got another 8 to 9 to 10 minutes for some stars. And T, I want to ask you, man, in the words of the Camel, man, Hov, for all of y'all that don't know, we call him the Camel.
Oh, not the man Hov. What's up, Gene?
I got love for Hov, but King's Disease, shout out to my boy Nas. But is it Uchi Wally or is it one mic, man?
Can it be both? Cause I like a little Uchiwali, and sometimes I like.
Is it black girls lost, or do Shorty owe you for ice?
Shorty definitely owe me for ice. All right, no, but man, it's definitely man. I don't want it to be Uchiwali, man.
It's Uchiwali, bro.
I don't want it that way, man. I feel like it has to be, something bigger. You got to stand on yours. I feel like it's time for players, athletes all over. Just go ahead and stand on theirs. I think that you saw yesterday the people are behind these guys.
Right.
If they were ready to go ahead and stick a fork in the season, it was gonna be a bunch of fans standing behind them saying it should have been this way all along. But you know what I mean? They took the Uchiwali route. You know what I mean? Gene, I don't know, brother.
It's definitely Uchiwali, and I feel you 100%, man. These guys definitely should have stood on their 7. But like somebody else in the chat said earlier, let me find it. Let me read it. Let me find it. Again, shout out to everybody that's rocking with the bigs. I can't find the quote, but it was basically saying that they're not gonna, treat the brothers either way for what they decided to do. It's easy for us. Same thing I was saying. It's easy for us to say what we would do and what they should do, but I guess taking a stand was the first step. Like Sonny Vaccarro said, and you kind of wasn't feeling it. He was saying this is just the first step. He doesn't think this is the end. But what you were saying was, so what does it take? Another incident like last night or the night before for this?
And I feel like if this was the first step, then what do you call what guys like Juan Carlos and Muhammad Ali was doing back in the 60s and 70s? You know what I mean? If the first step came over 30 years, 40 years after they were doing their thing, and I feel like we're in deeper shit than we even can admit right now. You feel me? I feel like yesterday was different in the scheme of players, taking a stand for anything. We've never seen them just say, hey, we not playing. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm not going on the court. And it's the playoffs. We're talking about a playoff game, not just a regular season game. We're talking about top players in the NBA that were getting ready to send their opponents back out of the bubble, and it was like, nah, we good. We'll forfeit this game. Y'all can have it. You know what I mean? And they came up off that a little bit too quick, in my opinion. I think they folded a little bit too fast. Was Adam Silver sleeping with LeBron they in a room playing Madden last night, and they had a meeting of the minds and was able to solve whatever issues they had? I just don't think that was the case, man. But I am interested in what is next. What is, if they say that the owners and Adam Silver are willing to do more in terms of what the players want them to do for social injustice, what is it?
What can they do? They ain't shooting. They not out there shooting unarmed black people, man.
No, they not. But they are. They may be partying and rubbing elbows and got their own little separate group chat with the governors,
with the 1%.
Yeah, and the attorney generals in these places. You see that the Milwaukee Bucks, they were in the locker room trying to get hold of the attorney general. You know what I mean? So they were trying to do some things and talk about what they wanted, because Sonny mentioned, it's about more black coaches and more black general managers and owners and things like that. That's cool, but the players were talking about justice for police officers that kill black men and women. Breonna Taylor's killer
still out there.
Did not get arrested overnight.
Still out there.
You feel me? This dude from Antioch, Illinois, that drove over state lines to Kenosha to kill people, basically. You know what I mean? That it didn't stop that. Whatever the NBA, it didn't affect that. So I'm wondering what the NBA's response to the players was behind closed doors.
Let me find it. Stanton Helms, he said the league told them to shut up and dribble.
Period. You know what I mean? I'm more inclined to believe that, because that's what they always tell.
Come on, man. We're not letting y'all affect the bottom line, which is our bread. We let you take a few dollars out our pocket. We'll let y'all take a few more dollars out our pocket tonight. But after that, it's only one we know who runs this ship around here, man. And we saw what Major League Baseball did, but I really, really, really want to see what the NFL has in store, because the season is 3 weeks away?
The season is right around the corner for the people that didn't know, as far as the NFL is concerned. And yeah, if they thought that Kaepernick was the last thing they had to deal with, they got another thing coming. Because I feel like, in some senses, you know what I mean, we, as far as its impact on other leagues like MLB, like NFL, boy, those leagues hate athletes standing up more than anybody.
Come on, man. You know what time it is, man. It's a wrap. It's a wrap, bro. Again, optimism. What was the quote from Nikki Giovanni?
Hey, but having optimism is a extreme task, an extreme sport, or something along those lines. We got to go ahead and look that one up because that was a good one we heard on the way over here.
Yeah, but I feel
optimism
like
in America is rare. You know what I mean? It's brave.
And like Pac said, the truth is it ain't no hope for the future. And as much as I believe, and as much as I do think that this has to end one day, something's got to give one of these days. Maybe it'll be when I'm long and gone, or maybe it's the next few years. But that is one of the Pac lyrics that stands out in Pac lyricism to me, because as long as I've been on the earth, I'm not gonna tell y'all how long it's been, but hey man, I haven't seen much change, bro.
Hey, look, how about this quote that I saw our homegirl Shakia Taylor tweet out? She said, "Sports is a reward for a functioning society." You know what I mean? Like, sports is like our cupcake party, it's our pizza party for being good fellow citizens. And that's not the case, y'all.
Well, that's definitely not the case.
It hasn't been the case ever. You know what I mean? You can go back to Jesse Owens. You know what I mean? It's, we can go back to the beginning, of sports history to talk about black athletes having to do things in spite of the way the world was going. You know what I mean?
Hey man, let me end this right here because I want to let you get something off before we get up out of here. They ain't spraying people and sending dogs at people on the bridge in Alabama like they was doing in the 60s. But racism is well alive and it's overt. People ain't hiding it no more. So I just want to leave on that note. You know my saying, RBG over Black Lives Matter any day. But I want to let you get the final word. Lucas Giolito, man, the White Sox.
Yo, in what sports world does a no-hitter get overshadowed by anything? Lucas Giolito definitely pitched a no-hitter Tuesday against the Pittsburgh Pirates. It was a beautiful thing, the 19th in White Sox history. We didn't even get the chance to talk about it because police still killing black folks, and NBA players said we had enough. Yo, man, thank y'all for tuning in to the second installment of On the Soil, rocking with the bigs on West Center for the Black People Family. Hey, man, we'll see y'all next Tuesday.
Shout out to Sonya. Shout out to our new homie back there holding us down on the board. Shout out to Mays Jackson. West Center for the Black People Media. We'll be back on Tuesday. Peace and love. We out.
It's us.
End it.